Welcome back to All Influencer Wrestling. I, as always, am your Clout Missioner, Captain Tyrion's Guidel. And we are kicking things off with triple threat action.
From Minnesota, weighing in at 239 pounds, the unpredictable Sparks.
Making his return to this season of All Influencer Wrestling. We haven't seen him since the end of Season 2. The unpredictable Sparks makes his way to the ring. We got a packed card for you tonight, all building to our main event. Fenris challenging for the $1 million title versus its current holder, Serenity Spider. Underground action later on. We have a tag upcoming, but for now, our opening match, triple threat action. It is our ginger grapplers, our red-haired wrestlers. A special showcase match. All clout, no soul. Her Royal Highness, the Ginger Flame, in rare solo action tonight. Candied Ginger getting a little bit of a night off. Candy Holiday off biking around elsewhere. So it is the Ginger Flame, Her Royal Highness, out solo tonight. All action, no soul. And rounding out this special showcase of Ginger Graps, the Hunter, S03E03. Of the three in this match, it is absolutely the Ginger Flame who is riding high. One half of our incredibly dominant tag champions, Candy Ginger, undefeated as a duo since the first season of All Influencer Wrestling. The Ginger Flame's solo record not quite as flawless. Coming out on top here will put her potentially on a great path for future solos action, potentially bringing double gold to Candy Ginger. Sparks and Presri, meanwhile, both looking to establish that themselves. Both former title holders, both desperate to get back on top of the heap. And we're kicking things off, and it's Sparks and Presri kicking things off as the Ginger Flame watches on. And doesn't work out and wriggles through. Chop block down goes Presri as Sparks looking to try to capitalize, but overpowered by the Ginger Flame. Rolls through and kick to the chest. And there is Presley the Hunter marking her prey. And punch right to the face of Her Royal Highness, the Ginger Flame. Hook release suplex, up over goes Presri. And Sparks into the corner for his trouble. Big chop to the chest. And a whirling DDT, down goes Sparks, and weapons legal in triple threat. Presri here with the kendo stick. Ginger Flame having none of it. Step up kick, and got around the waist of Sparks. Headbutt to the back of the head. And immediately going for the pinfall, but Presri already back on her feet. She'll be right there to break that up, and indeed does so before the refs count. Even hits the floor for one. Dominant performance by the Ginger Flame thus far, but one has to wonder, is she emptying the tank too soon? Meanwhile, Sparks on the outside takes a moment, plays to the crowd, ducks under, And quick toe jab by Presri, and right into another glorious spinning DDT by the Opera Geek. And a kendo stick to the face for the troubles. And now turning the attention back to Sparks. Goes for the pinfall, quick kendo strike across the ribs. I don't know if that's going to be enough, and indeed it is not. Kicks out at 2. And there is the Ginger Flame here to capitalize on Presri's hard work. Running knee, Presri not happy about that, baited it into position. Try to take out the ankle of Sparks, turning her attention back to the Ginger Flame. Presri has her head on a swivel in this match. She is not allowing this multi-competitor angle to get any better of her. She is doing a fantastic job of maintaining that ring awareness. But here's Sparks with a baseball bat, looking to equalize the score, and baseball bat right to the skull. Doesn't matter how much attention you're paying, that's going to knock you loopy. But only a 1, that hard ahead of the Opera Geek. Maybe the tiara doing a little bit of protection. And Sparks going up top, but there's Presri looking to intercept. Waits for the maneuver from Sparks. High-flying offense, but he is too quick. Lights Presri up with those big chops, and down she goes. Sparks standing tall. Counter by Presri, launching Sparks with those feet. And submission hold locked in, but there's the Opera Geek ready to break that up. The Ginger Flame not looking to lose this match that way. And at 2, barely a 2. Presri still got a lot left in the tank, it seems. Disrespectful, just boots to the face. Ref is checking on Sparks on the outside. Ginger Flame baiting Presri to get up, and top rope springboard drop kick. But Sparks now has taken that moment, that little bit of a breather on the outside. Counter into a clothesline by Presri, and cracks the kendo stick explosion, but absolutely no response by Presri. Adrenaline clearly fueling the Hunter. That kendo stick exploded, and it was like a gnat. Now Sparks tied up in the corner. Presri turning her attention back to the Ginger Flame. Rolls through, perhaps, yep, looking for another weapon. What does the Hunter have in mind? It's another kendo stick. There's Sparks, though, waiting. Missed that kick there, and double axe handle right to the back of Presri. The Ginger Flame cannot believe that. Boot to the gut. And up over the shoulders. Fireman's carry, and bounces the bonds of Sparks off, but there again out of nowhere behind comes Presri, and look at the capitalize. Opera Kick just bounced Sparks' skull off there, and it's not enough. Not enough, only a 2. Club and blows. Look, though, we've got a kendo stick and a baseball bat very precariously placed in the ring right now. And spear by Presri. And rolls through and locks into submission. That is the Hunter's mark. Got that locked in deep. But there is the Ginger Flame breaking it up. Smart moves by Presri, though. Submission's probably the most straightforward way to end a triple threat match. Get your opponent to tap quick before the other can come in and break it up. And Sparks just now taking his time. Another stick shattered. Ginger Flame, though, rolls through, and too slow. Presri is right there watching on, and boot breaks it up. Quick punch to the spine sends Sparks flying out the ring. And is Presri going to try to capitalize on the work that Sparks just did? Wrenching the ankle of the Ginger Flame. This is a powerful showing by Presri out here tonight. Going to the mid rope, what does Presri have in mind? Just a little quick bait, a taunt, and I think she managed to get both her opponents with that. It was an interesting landing, but seems to have played dividends for the Hunter, and both opponents down. This may well be it. 1, 2, and way to go, Presri D. The Hunter had the aim true tonight. Three ginger grapplers, only one stands tall. And it is the Hunter, S03E03. Powerful showing and perhaps the start of a new campaign to get back on top. Here in All Influencer Wrestling, we can see many attempts by pinfalls. We can see the shattered kendo stick vibrating in the middle of the ring. The sheer power, the sheer enthusiasm of the crowd shaking everything around. There we see at the moment where it all starts to go wrong. S03E03 caught both opponents with one mid-rope maneuver, and then all it took was one elbow block. And the 3 count means the Hunter takes the victory.
Here is your winner, the Hunter!
Hell of a way to kick things off. We've got, though, a lot more clout chasing action for you coming up right after these messages. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Captain Tyriant Guidel, most dashingly handsome pirate in all of Limsa and the Clout Missioner of All Influencer Wrestling. As a swashbuckling pirate, I know a thing or two about hats. And sometimes, even I feel the hats I own are just too big. So when I feel the need for minuscule millinery, there's only one place that comes to mind. TinyHatLabs.com. Tiny Hat Labs have always sought to push the boundaries of what's possible in client engagement millinery feedback solutions. Their guiding question remains the same today as it was when they were founded. What if small hat, but tiny? Operating at the nexus of science, engineering, artificial intelligence, art, fashion and design, Tiny Hat Labs seeks to pave the way to a paradigm shift in headpiece technology. While others ask, how much? TinyHatLabs.com asks, how little? I'm Captain Tyriant Guidel, and TinyHatLabs.com is my favourite place for hats on the internet.
Welcome back. One-on-one clout chasing action up next. As in action once more, the Archangel, Hawkeye.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 228 pounds, magnificent Archangel.
The Archangel Hawkeye. We saw him in a multi-action last week. We are one-on-one competition on the docket tonight. Facing off against another returning clout chaser. Returns and debuts are the theme of the night. The towering, intimidating presence of the Archangel. We are going to be in for a bit of a David and Goliath match. But this type of size discrepancy is where his opponent has shown to excel in the past. Hawkeye cannot afford to get complacent. And here comes his opponent, the assassin.
From parts unknown,
Valoran Anastasia. An enigma in all influencer wrestling. None have ever seen the full face. Valoran has a long history in matches of ending them out of nowhere, striking from the shadows as their tendencies are wont to do. This is an opponent you cannot take your eyes off for a moment. Hawkeye is going to have to bring the A game tonight. One moment of complacency will be all Valorant needs to capitalize and strike. Meanwhile, for Valorant's side, the power game is absolutely on Hawkeye's side. They cannot afford to get caught. They cannot afford to get grounded. And immediately locking in the abdominal stretch. Interesting that Anastasia appears to be trying to go for a submission right out of the gate. Bold move against an opponent like Hawkeye. Perhaps trying to throw him off his game a little bit. But this is exactly what Valorant needed to not happen. They have been grounded. They are in the group. But counter. That is what Hawkeye needs to be watching for. And again, going right for the submission. Seemingly, this is the strategy that Valorant has decided to take in. Went through. It's, again, very early to lock these in. A very fresh Hawkeye. And he has way too much power. He is going to very easy be able to fight out of those submission attempts this early on. Anastasia really needs to weaken Hawkeye first before going for that. And this is the position they need to not be in. Trapped in the corner, nothing between them and the Angel. One, and only a one. They were wriggled 3, but trapped between the turnbuckle and an angry Archangel is not the place Anastasia needs to be. And a running scoop slam. Hawkeye yelling, baiting Anastasia to get up, going perhaps for, tried to go for a springboard that dodged out of the way. His positioning was a little off there, capitalizing that sharp elbow strike by Valorant. It looks like Valorant is now going for the exact same type of maneuver, going to show Hawkeye how it's done, perhaps. And indeed, double drop kick, bouncing right off that top rope. The athleticism of Anastasia, astounding to watch. But the power, the stamina of Hawkeye, too much to keep down. This time turning the attention to the limb manipulation, working over the shoulder, but able to roll through once again. Takedown, Anastasia doing these quick strikes, hit and run, hit and run. This is the way they need to be doing this. Up to the top rope and big frog splash, crashing down right upon the ribs, this time going for the pinfall. Hawkeye beginning to show signs of fatigue, beginning to weaken, but Anastasia still the one in control. Got that shoulder up in the time for the 2 count. And there's the counter. Forearm right to the temple of Valorant and smash right down onto the canvas. Forces the assassin down in the middle of the ring, but only a 1. Didn't even hit that 2 count. Hawkeye really focusing on that power game right now. Smart move. He's realized how slippery an opponent Valorant can be. Realized how dangerous they can be once they get that rip. They can manipulate your limbs, manipulate your body into these horrendously painful positions. So Hawkeye now just that vice grip on the head of Valorant, trying to go for a submission himself. Eventually releases it, but that did a lot of damage. That was a lot of pressure right onto the brain of Valorant. And this is a lot of weight potentially about to come crashing down the limb, and indeed flying elbow strike. That's not looking good for Valorant. And indeed, down they go. A valiant attempt shown by Valorant, but the power game of Hawkeye simply too strong. Beginning here, we see a flurry of offense by Valorant. The double drop kick off the top rope, leading into the frog splash, almost ended it there. Hawkeye is going to be feeling those submission attempts. Barely got the shoulder up in time there, but here is where it all started to go wrong for Anastasia. Got caught by Hawkeye, and once he got that power game in, the flying elbow with the combination of that head grip curtains for Valorant.
Here's your winner, Magnificent Archangel.
The Archangel taking flight up the rankings here in All Influencer Wrestling. Coming up next, tag team action as a brand new team makes their debut. We will be right back with that after these short messages.
Luz tried everything to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. Hammers, axes, magic, saws, more magic, fire, even more magic, and magic explosions. Still, the door refused her. Why? After all this time and effort, why wouldn't the damn thing open? Sure, it was an enchanted door that would open the path to a potentially catastrophic amount of magic pouring back into the universe, causing endless natural disasters that would drown or bury most cities from existence. But there was an equally high chance that wouldn't happen, and that the magic had been sealed away by ignorant fools for nothing. She had to believe there was a reason why she could tap into a sliver of the magic locked behind the door. That this was it, her singular life purpose. Open the door, restore its magic back to everyone like it used to be in the stories, where anyone could use magic, for good or bad. That had to be it, right? That had to be why she was standing here, in the door's pocket dimension, on a small plot of Earth, large enough for only one person to stand in front of it, swearing at this void-black door with iridescent veins flowing along its surface like water, living, taunting her to just open it already. So why was it so hard to swing the damn thing wide? Somehow, she had shoved the door apart just a crack ages ago. A thin, wispy line of light seeped out of a seam down the center. Whenever she used teleportation magic, as she had decided to call it since she didn't know the correct term and hadn't seen others use it before, probably because it was dangerous and required sliding through space and time, but who was counting? She tapped into a sliver of warmth and power to travel wherever she wished. She'd managed that slight opening unthinking as a child, then never again. What was she doing wrong now? Worse, what if she wasn't doing anything wrong? What if this door wasn't meant to open for her after all? What else could there be for her but this? After everything, after all that searching, what else could there be? This has been an extract from The Void Door by V.M. Ayala. To read the full story, please visit beneath-ceaseless-skies.com and search for issue 378. And thank you for watching Masterpiece Theatre.
Welcome back, tag action, and up first, tank main time.
Tag team match scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, the captain and the stage.
Team Tank Main looking to put our new debuting team through their paces here tonight.
And their opponents, at a combined weight of
Introducing Dos Altos Vuelos, the team of El Volador Leon from Mexico and Quetzalcoatl Supremo from Japan. These two bringing the Lucha Libre style to all influencer wrestling. A daunting first match for these two up against Team Tank Main. And it looks like it is Quetzalcoatl Supremo who is starting things out. Purple v Purple. Battlestar Galactica says, welcome to All Influencer Wrestling. This is what you have in store for you. Bounce into the corner. We saw a dominant performance by Team Tank Main last week, which was, to be fair, Battlestar doing the vast majority of the work. Caneas looking like he's actually going to get to do a little bit of the wrestling this time. That mask of Supremo not going to do much protection against those clubbing blows, but a leg sweep knocks Caneas flat on the back and counters with some knee strikes to the face of his own. Going for a very early pinfall is Supremo. Only a 1 count, hardly surprising. It's going to take a lot more than that to keep a Tank Main down. Tried to get him over to the corner where his partner El Volador Leon is waiting, but Caneas able to fight his way out. And looking like we're going to get some springboard action by Caneas onto the top and a boot right to the face. Looking to end this early. Quetzalcoatl Supremo down, but only a 1. Rolls his way through, perhaps trying to get a little bit of a camouflage going, trying to blend in with our purple ring ropes, but not enough. And this is going to be nasty for Supremo. Up and down, spine first onto the hardest part of the ring. Rolls right back in. This is not the greatest debut performance thus far for Dos Altos Vuelos. Quetzalcoatl Supremo really needs to get that tag in and let El Volador Leon get some work in here. Still resistant though, able to kick out. He's only down for these 1 counts despite taking an absolute drubbing from both Caneas and Battlestar. Face planted down, Caneas yells to the crowd. Elbow right to the gut. Locks up in the middle. And up and down, cracked over the knee. 1, and that is really a rare bit of offense that we've seen. And there finally, though, gives that bit of breathing room, makes the tag, and for the first time in the match, El Volador Leon takes the ring. Counters that drop kick by Caneas, rolls him into the ropes. An excellent slam there. Look at the athleticism, but knees up by Caneas. And look at the incredible athleticism of El Volador Leon. I was going to say, he may be used to a slightly smaller ring, I think. Very impressive maneuvering, but Caneas didn't even have to move and totally missed that dropkick, and now Battlestar tagged back in. Tank Main tag, and Battlestar takes it to El Volador Leon. Stomping right into the spine. Rolls through, neck snap. And just slowly crawling along and just pounding the head of El Volador Leon. Battlestar very smartly getting themselves between Leon and Supremo, making it much harder to make that tag. Camel clutch in, but Leon is able to wriggle free, I think. Just, yes, barely gets out of that. Grapples up with Battlestar, sends him into his team's corner, and there's the tag. Double team offense by Dos Altos Vuelos. And tandem launch. And now it is a Battlestar who is in trouble. Knee right over the forearm, trying to take out the powerful striking offense. Quick kick to the head, though. And all the way up for the atomic drop. Down goes Quetzalcoatl Supremo. And this time, El Volador Leon thinks his partner is in trouble. He's probably right there to break up the pinfall, but as we recall, that is the only time he's going to be able to do that until a tag is made. And high bye. Down goes Quetzalcoatl Supremo, but not the 3. Kicks out of the high bye. And tag Caneas looking to put things away now. Just quick boots to the head. And that was enough. Just a quick stomp to the head was that little bit. Knocked those synapses loose. And with that, Team Tank Main are victorious, and welcome to All Influencer Wrestling Dos Altos Vuelos. Sure to be a regular fixture in the tag team division. Nothing to be ashamed of. Losing a debut match against a team as storied, as compatible as Team Tank Main is not something that you need to be particularly ashamed of. I think a little bit of adjustment to the size of the AI dub ring seemed to be what threw El Volador Leon off there. And we see there the high bye, the resilience of Quetzalcoatl Supremo, able to kick out of it. We don't see that happen a lot, but then just that quick boot to the head allowed Caneas to come in and finish the job. And with that, too sweet victory by Team Tank Main, who seem to be really enjoying the change in rules, the merging of the divisions that have let them perform as a full team. Perhaps starting to set their sights on their good friends, Candide's Ginger. We have, though, plenty more clout-chasing action to get to things. Our main event coming up later on. Fenris challenging for the $1 Shillion title held by Serenity Spider. But plenty to get to first. We'll be right back after this.
Captain Turiant Guidel, Clout Commissioner of All Influencer Wrestling here, and I have a question for you. Do you like robots? Do you like space? Do you like queer romance? How about gay robots in space? Then you should read Emotional Resonance by V.M. Ayala, now available in print for the first time as part of the Best American Science Fiction and Fantasy.
Welcome back to the Underground. Saria Violet already in the ring, awaiting her opponent, the Seraphim of the Chew. New vibe for the Seraphim, a lot more enthusiastic, a lot more vibrant than we saw her previously. Here to spread the word of the Chew.
Underground match. The only ways to win are by knockout or submission. Introducing first, from overseas, Violet. And from New York, the Superstar!
Underground matches new to All Influencer Wrestling this season. Only KO or submission. This is the ground of the Intercontinental Championship held by Stephen Joyce. He defended it last week against Mac. Now begins the process of determining who is going to get to challenge Steven next. Right now, it looks like Saria is making a damned good statement as to why it should be her. Has already busted Seraphim wide open. You can see the crimson mask tearing down the face of the Seraphim of the Chew. Seems perhaps going for that knockout victory very early on is Saria Violet. Name may be Violet, but she is all about the crimson, it seems. Sun Soul Monk. Very, very well suited to this particular type of match. But there, Seraphim finally gets in. No ring ropes. He's able to get Violet balancing carefully on that rope, and Violet is able to right herself, though right into a power slam by Seraphim. Running knee strike, and Seraphim now finally getting some offense in, back in control of this match where she needs to be. Bloodied and battered, but not yet beaten. And wrenching back the arms, stomping into the spine. And look at the tenacity of Seraphim right there. What a visage. Boot to the side, and looks like going for submission hold, locked deep, but Violet easily able to power through, burning some of those key points. And now Violet's turn to send Seraphim off to the edge of the ring, and a quick big boot, and followed by a splash. No watching and waiting for Violet. She saw Seraphim teetering on the edge and decided to give her a quick bit of help, falling off. Nothing about the rules requires this fight to take place in the ring, remember. Superman punch. You can just as easily KO or submit your opponent on the outside as in the middle. Boots to the inner thigh. And Violet is very much back in control right now. Quick, excellent strategy there by Seraphim. Got the legs, used the legs to wrap around the arm of Saria Violet, block that offense, and you heard that crash there. I think that was Violet's skull bouncing off of those metal crowd barriers. A little bit of a taunt by Violet, may have been a mistake. That seems to have only, or by Seraphim, excuse me, seems to have only incensed Violet. He's now warming up a little bit. And boom, right onto the knee goes Seraphim. Counters though, shoves Violet back. And looking to take out those dangerous kicks. Really wrenching the ankle. But that monk flexibility is going to take a lot to submit Saria. I think more likely is the KO victory. Although surfboard and cracks, I think that may have broken Saria Violet's nose. And yep, we can see the blood pouring down the face of Violet right now. And self-sacrificing, charging, not waiting this time. Seraphim diving straight through, using Saria Violet as her own landing mat. Yeah, you may want to get out of the way there. The crowd continuing to get into the way of Seraphim. I think she's trying to go for a dive over, but looking to not hit any of the crowd. That thoughtfulness may have just proved to be Seraphim's undoing, as that crunch was Seraphim's knee cracking down into the unforgiving ringside area. Sarria slowly making their way forward and hooks the leg, cracks back. And looking to get that high ground, waiting for Seraphim to get back to her feet. Thought perhaps better of the dive off, which may have been a mistake, gave Seraphim that moment to recover and hoist Sarria back into the ring. Not a lot of room to maneuver though, and just straight up headbutts the bloodied head of Seraphim, cracking down into that already busted nose of Sarria Violet. And indeed, starting to go for that KO strategy, I think, planting the injured face of Sarria. And there's that surfboard kick once again, really focusing on the nose, the facial area of Sarria, doing as much blunt force damage as is possible to do. Quick boot. And there's that Superman punch once again, flies through the air, and quick kick counters by Seraphim. And flying off into the crowd, Seraphim seemingly decided the crowd on this side, not worth her protection. She realized that was holding her back and has dug deep, found that viciousness, found that side of her that she needed to tap into to win in the underground. Tying Violet back up again. And the torque on that spine, the crowd are baying for violence. Again, that taunt, waiting for Violet to get back to her feet. And there is the knockout. Seraphim has done it. KO victory. Realized the submissions weren't working, and it was that boot to the bloodied, potentially broken nose of Sarria Violet. Seraphim of the Chew pulls out the victory. They will be celebrating in the lab tonight. And here we see that turnaround. That's when Seraphim hoys Violet back into the ring. You can see the blood covering our canvas there, beginning to pool. But here's that final blow. And Violet is out, and the Seraphim of the Chew stands tall in the underground. Plenty more action still to come, more returning clout chasers. As Seraphim basks in the victory, we will take another short break and be right back after this. Welcome back to another one-on-one contest here tonight. It is slugger Damian Farner up first.
Making his way to the ring, weighing in at 101 pounds, Slugger
Damian Farner making his way down to the ring. And if you've been paying any attention to developments this season, I think this particular matchup might be one that you had seen coming. Rolls his way into the ring. Farner unsuccessful in multi-competitor action last week. Back to one-on-one, looking to avenge his loss. It was Farner who got pinned, and showing off that fabulous follicle finery. He is going to need to focus, going to need to dig deep into those hellish depths, because his opponent is on a war against the supernatural in all influencer wrestling. It is the witch hunter, Gabriel Van Hessel. two of our more magically inclined clout chasers have already fallen to the mission of Van Hessel, seemingly perhaps under new orders from the Vatican. He lost the Sold Clout Championship to our current champion, DC Lasserre, at the end of last season. And since his return, now appears to have his focus set somewhere entirely different. Many eyes watching the crusade of Van Hessel. Will Damien Farner be the next victim to fall to the Witch Hunter? And off we go, and indeed it is Van Hessel getting the upper hand very early on. Elbow strikes to the back, and supernatural powers indeed. Farner is levitating. Damien Farner is actually levitating in the middle of the ring. Locked up now, Van Hessel brings him back to earth. But that has really thrown the Witch Hunter, I think, for a loop. And chaining together grapple after grapple. Damien Farner now locked in. But there the Witch Hunter counters through, and now we are just into a straight slugfest. Blow after blow after blow, and Farner now taunting the Witch Hunter, taunting Van Hessel to come on and hit him harder. Both now starting to flag, it looks like. Look at how much longer it's taking both of the men to get back to an upright position, and now just a hockey fight in the middle of the ring. Just two men in the middle of the ring absolutely pounding each other. And it looks like Van Hessel now trying to get it early. He got that big slam in, but no, only a 1 count. As Van Hessel warms up, and again lighting up Farner, planting big spine buster in the middle and going up top. This is usually when we see Van Hessel start to get into the ending stretches of the match. Once the Witch Hunter takes flight, there's that nasty double axe handle that has proven so effective for him in the past too. Only a 2 count this time though. Farner dug deep and found some way back up. Right into that Plague Doctor mask, and it did not phase Gabriel one bit. Hoys him back up to the feet, and there it is. A big slam. 1, 2, end of days for Damien Farner. Another supernatural roster member falls to the Witch Hunter, Gabriel Van Hessel. And there it is. Scoop, slam around. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for coming. The crusade of the Witch Hunter continues unstopped. We have plenty more to come, though, yet our main event begins to loom. Fenris versus Serenity Spider. But more tag action and more returns. And we will find out who is up next, right after these quick messages. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and prepare to get on your feet and start bouncing. It is your Intercontinental Champion, Stephen Joyce.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 158 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion,
Stephen Joyce, Intercontinental Champion, here in, I would argue, ill-advised tag team action tonight. After Stephen's successful title defense last week, a match which he seemed to greatly enjoy, and for some reason completely unbeknownst to me, found a great deal of respect for his opponent. The two of them have requested to team together tonight.
and his partner from overseas, Matt Lay.
Introducing the team name, Yappin and Scrappin. So named because of the nice chat they apparently had after the fight. Both real scrappy competitors and both quite happy to talk endlessly. Stephen and Mac teaming up against this brotherly duo. Looking to get back on track, Taylor West fell victim to Van Hessel last week.
Of 525 pounds, Dr. Victor West and Taylor the Tank West.
This time, both brothers in action. Both of the Trailblazers facing down. Yappin and Scrappin. Looks like it will be Stephen and, interestingly, Victor West starting the match. I would have assumed it would have been Taylor, the far more physically imposing. Counter there, though, by Victor. Excellent move by the doctor of the duo. And Stephen counters, but then counter again. Caught that first kick attempt and pivots into a super kick by Victor West. And vaults over. Impressive athleticism for a scrawny guy. Hurtles Stephen over into the corner, and there's the tag. Whipped into the ropes and double elbow strike, and now it is Taylor West in the ring, and Stephen is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. And immediately going for the pinfall. One kicks out though. That is the tenacity of your Intercontinental Champion on full display. Impressive athleticism from the big man there though. Rolling over, snapping the neck of Steven and vice grip. But their quick leg strike and Steven knocks the big man down, hauls him back up, and bad strategy there. It should have kept Taylor down on the ground, letting him get back to his feet and hold into the ref. I don't think that was the intention there, but it gave Steven a moment to counter. But oh my, just the sheer resilience of Taylor West. Just look at that grin on his face, just laughing off those blows from Steven. Only a 1 count though. Intercontinental Champion holds tight. He's holding in. And up and crack right over the knee. Turns his back though, and I think that was a mistake because you heard that there. The tag was made and Mac barrels through, almost got knocked off his feet, but not quite enough. And now it's Mac's turn to take some punishment. Headlock, wrenching the neck of Lane. Rolls out the way. She's scrappy, but this is a mountain of a man. I'm not sure what the actual designation is for something like Taylor West. Counters there though, good strategy by Mac. Used his own momentum against him, knocked him off his feet, but again, same mistake as earlier as Steven. She hauled him back to his feet. Rolls through though, and going for the tag again. Typical Mac, trying to do as little work as possible. Sling blade by Steven. And rolls over, top rope assisted, and now he is on fire. Wrenching the ankles, smart strategy, trying to eliminate that center of gravity, trying to make it harder and harder for Taylor to stay on his feet. But again, they keep hauling him back and he keeps making them suffer for it. You've got to keep him grounded. Just ground and pound. That needs to be the strategy when you have this sort of a size differential. And there is the tag. This may wind up working well for Yappin and Scrappin. Drop kick, down goes, and here's the tag, and Mac once again is legal. Not something you can usually say about her. Usually up to all manner of ridiculous crimes. And knocks Steven back off her and off the mid, and head scissors takedown. Standing moonsault follows through. Victor West perhaps in trouble, only a 1 count though. Waits for West to get his bearings, grapples from behind, and hauls to the opposite turnbuckle. I thought she was going to try and get him over to Steven there, and that may have been the smarter strategy. And there is the tag, and it's Taylor West legal once again. Drop kick by Mac though, keeps him off it, and again they keeps hauling him back to his feet, and once again, simply overpowered by West. And all the way up top, and that is a high height to fall from. Pinned in the middle of the ring, but took too long to get into position. It doesn't even hit the 1 count. Downside with the bulk, the sheer mass of Taylor West, it takes the ref a little bit longer to get into position because there's simply so much meat mountain to maneuver around. Steven in the corner there, trying to encourage his tag partner. And high flying big frog splash by Victor West, right onto the ribs of Mac. And vaults over and again manages to land. Grabs the wrist. Mac trying to get away, and a kick to the knee. That'll do it. Rope assisted spin around and around. Yeah, looks up, realized I think there how close Taylor was, and decided she wouldn't have none of that. And head scissors once again. And there's that standing moonsault. Is this going to do it? No, there's the big guy breaking up the pinfall. All right, Mac deciding she is done for the day. There's the tag. It's Steven. Can he finish this off? Again, if they can keep that tag from being made, if they can keep Victor West isolated, Taylor will not be able to come and save him once again. And that is a big mistake there, rolled through, and there is the tag. That window of opportunity is now fully closed. Tried to go for the shoulder check to send Taylor to the outside and simply couldn't do it. Got countered. Running drop kick takes the head. Impressive jump to get to reach the head of someone the size of Taylor. Crashing down to the mat. And there's the tag. Looks like it's overtime for Mac today. Bounces off the ropes. And crack down. Boom. There's the save, though. So we are once again in that position where if they can capitalize... Well, that's not going to do it, Mac. Misjudged that distance, didn't you? Boot, 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 DDT. If they can capitalize, if they can prevent... And Mac turned her back on the opponent, and once again... Critical tactical error by Mac. Turning her back to slowly go and tag in. Steven allows Taylor West to go and make that tag, but he's still down, and Steven almost managed to put it away. Despite that, turns his attention briefly to Taylor, poise him into the corner. Steven taking the opportunity to do a little more punishment, and impressive use of momentum there, getting the big guy down. That's going to keep him stunned for a minute. And a Pele kick, down goes Victor. Tag, if Matt can finish the job here, this will be a stunning debut performance for Yappin and Scrappin. And that's not going to do it. Victor rolls through, sending Matt to eat nothing but canvas. Ties up the leg of West. And neck snap. Works over the ankle. Mac starting to get into a little bit of trouble here. Heel hook. And he's waiting. Victor has something in mind. Up over the shoulders. And a crack down goes Mac. Desperately crawling to Steven as Victor takes a moment to taunt and show off in the middle of the ring. I think Mac collapsed. She couldn't quite make it. As Victor's up on the top and flying drop kick, down goes Mac. And again, that cartwheel showing off. But look who's waiting right there. Victor got a little overconfident, and now he's punishing for it. Shotgun dropkick by Steven. Counters by Victor. Victor once again needs to tag out dropped Stephen close to on his head, and there's Mac with the save. Knocks him through and steps through. And he roll through, and that is a sharpshooter locked in the middle of the ring. Mac cannot come and break this. Stephen, though, reverses the pressure, rolls through. Expert escape by Stephen. Gets planted, though, once more. And that is that. The Trailblazers pick up the win. But nonetheless, this team did still seem to work together fairly well. I don't think this will be the last we've seen of Yappin and Scrappin. Now, due to some technical issues we had experienced earlier, we are going to have to rearrange the matches a little bit. The one match we had up next is going to get shifted to next week, which will be the Mother of Pain versus Tiff. We're going to kick off next week's show with that. Meaning up next is our main event. Fenris versus Serenity Spider for the $1 million title. We see there Stephen almost had this put away. Kicked out there though, Victor. And a valiant effort by Stephen to keep things going, but it is the diminutive brother of the Trailblazers, Victor, who picks up the victory. And there you see that 1, 2, 3. Good night. Thank you for coming.
Here are your winners, Dr. Victor West and Taylor the Tank West, the Trailblazers.
Up next, main event. Will Serenity Spider retain, or will Fenris be your new $1 million champion? We'll find out after this.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the $1 Million Championship.
It is showdown time. Here is your champion, Serenity Spider. Glowing katanas on the back. This is a regular one-on-one match. She is not going to be able to utilize those. Serenity, lest we forget, gave the upset of the century last season, defeating the seemingly unstoppable enforcer Laurie Bishop for that self-same title. Meanwhile, racking up a couple of impressive victories en route to this match, the Dark Wolf Fenris. An intense showdown last week between these two. Fenris bringing a street fighting style to All Influencer Wrestling. Serenity, the futuristic fighter, much more technically minded. A clash of styles to be sure, but one that is certain to be an excellent contest. And determine who truly deserves to call themselves a shillionaire. And that's what this match is all about.
Introducing the challenger from Chicago, Illinois, the Wolf. And her opponent from Los Angeles, California, the $1 Million Champion, the Spider.
Local hero Serenity Spider, albeit not from this time, but from this location. Is that going to play a factor in this match or no? And we are off. A quick kick, strike, and it's Fenris who got the upper hand out the gate. And it looks like for right now, it may be Serenity Spider who's been caught in Fenris's web. The Dark Wolf baiting their opponents to get up and grappling on. They have a tight grip on one another. Spider forcing Fenris back onto the ropes, using them for leverage. The ref trying to break the two apart. And now here is that quick striking offense, and that, I swear I saw Fenris's eyes roll back into their skull with that last kick. Or grappling up once again, that grip that Spider has, and a reversal of fortune. This time it's Spider who gets forced back and into the turnbuckle, and once again the ref has to break up. There is no love lost between these two. They both know exactly what is at stake. Neckbreaker, down goes Spider. Fenris waiting, yelling at Serenity to get back to her feet. There's the grapple. Once again, these two locking up. And this time it's Serenity. These two going back to the well with that, both not willing to give the other the upper hand. And quick strike, though, forces Fenris back in there once again. And a quick flurry of offense by Spider. Looking to put this away early. 1, 2. Doesn't do it. Fenris powers out at 2. Irish whip into the ropes, and quick strike to the back of the knee sends Fenris arse over tea kettle. Spider measuring her opponent. And a giant stomp to the back of the head, smack into the canvas. That was vicious, but Fenris rolled through to the outside for a brief bit of safety. And good night. Strong boot to the face of Serenity there, and rolls back into the ring. That may well have knocked her for a loop. Is Fenris going to go for the pinfall after that? I don't think so. Trying to grapple, no. Spider wriggled free. Rolls through, and cheeky roll up. Could that do it? No, kicks out. Boot by Spider, who is really showing why she deserved that championship. And now just a straight up chop fest in the middle of the ring. And it is Fenris now turning Serenity Spider into a punching bag. Sharp elbows to the gut, though. Spider is able to fight their way free. Now Fenris doing the exact same thing. And up, over, and side slam. Down goes Serenity, perhaps in trouble. Is that going to do it? 1, 2. No, kicks out at 2. Serenity Spider retains the $1 Million Championship, still in the battle, but Fenris has something vicious in mind. and plants, and there is, oh, a critical error. She had the coquina clutch locked in, but too close to the ropes. Immediate rope break, by the Spider. That was a costly error by the Dark Wolf. I think perhaps, though, I think she realized that frustration starting to show from Fenris. I think she may have injured the leg of Serenity Spider. Rolls back into the ring. Now turning a quick kick strike, and now Fenris is down and it's Spider back in control. Hook and up, and down goes Fenris. Tried to go for a draping knee strike. Fenris saw it coming, countered. And there it is now. The clutch to lock back in, and there it is. Coquina clutch in the middle of the ring. This time Spider is in real trouble and is forced to tap, and that is that. Tap or snap. And with that, your new $1,000,000 champion, the Dark Wolf, Fenris. Valiant defense by Serenity, almost had it down a couple of times. I thought with that critical error in judgment by the Wolf earlier, where we saw that clutch locked in, way too close to the ropes. Spider was able to get that leg up there and immediately break the hold, but fell to the trap one more time. And you can see there, Spider has no choice, locked in the middle of the ring, nowhere to go. It's tap out or snap out. Fenris, the Dark Wolf, is the $1,000,000 champion. With that brings us to an end for tonight's clout chasing action. I have been your clout missioner, Captain Tyriant Guidal, and as always, I will see you back here next week for more clout chasing action. Until then, always remember to stay #out for clout.